Anime for blondes.
I am totally fine with being freaked out on main here.
That's the thing.
That's not the problem. However, I am the too woke friend.
Action! Hello, I'm Becca.
And I'm Allie.
And welcome to Anime for Blondes.
The girly pop podcast made for girls, gays, theys, blondes, and showgirls.
Showgirls especially.
Especially, because tonight, as we are filming, we are 30 minutes away
Oh my god.
from the album dropping. So let's try to wrap this up.
Yeah, so if we seem like we're rushing, we are.
We are rushing. However, this comes out the Monday after Life of a Showgirl comes out.
Mhm.
So, like, if you're one of our followers, you can understand why.
You get it. Let us know what your favorites are on the album. I'm most excited to listen to Elizabeth Taylor.
And I am most excited to listen to Eldest Daughter.
Yay!
Yay! Okay. Oh, today, what we're actually here to talk about is Becca's new favorite anime?
Literally. I told Taylor, I said, I think this is my new favorite anime. And he says...
Like, more than Attack on Titan?
Literally, he says that. I'm like... Okay, well, no.
Okay.
He's like, more than Dan to Dan? I'm like, okay, well, no, but like...
More than Freerin?
Here's what I will say.
Okay.
Here's what I will say, you guys. This is the first anime I feel like you always talk about, like, you have your comfort animes that you can just throw on.
Mhm.
I feel like I could do that with this one.
Okay, that's real.
I don't think I'd do that with the other ones, because they're more of, like, you're watching it. You're there for the story.
You have to actually watch Dan to Dan. I'm sure you have to watch Attack on Titan.
And this one's more of, like, a slice of life type vibe, and... A lot of the times that's a little harder for me.
Yes.
I enjoyed this one a lot. I loved this one.
Did we say the title?
My Dress Up Darling!
We're talking about My Dress Up Darling!
Could you guys not guess from the description?
Because it's October, it's Halloween season,
Yes.
and in My Dress Up Darling, they dress up, and My Dress Up
They
Darling...
cosplay, that's the whole plot.
Yeah, that's the whole plot. And like, dressing up and Halloween and showgirls is all about what October is about.
Exactly.
So yeah. And so, okay, we both finished it.
Yes, first season we're going over.
Oh yes, we're just talking
Second
about
season is pretty new, actually.
Yes.
It just recently came out. That's why Taylor had watched the first season, and then he saw the second season was coming out, and he said, hey, if you want a romance, you should watch My Dress Up Darling with me. And I said, okay, say less. Let's watch it. And I'm obsessed. I'm so obsessed, you guys. I love it.
Okay. First, we need to...
So the basic rundown of the plot, if you haven't watched it, is there is a nerdy, quiet guy. They're in high school. It's two high school characters. Always.
His name's Gojo.
His name's Gojo.
Not that Gojo.
Wrong Gojo. His name's Gojo. He works in a store with his grandpa, and they, like, live there, too, where they do... What are the dolls called? I want to say henna dolls, but that's not what it is.
No.
It's something like that, though.
Why do I want to say Kita dolls?
It's not... It starts with an H for sure.
Okay.
It's like henna dolls or...
Yeah. They're, like, very traditional Japanese,
Yes.
like, porcelain dolls that you
Very
make by
beautiful.
hand. You, like, sew their clothes by hand. You paint them by hand. And it's actually just, like, the heads, but then, like, they don't really have bodies. It's, like, the heads on a stick, and then they're dressed.
Yes, and they are really beautiful, and he loves doing that, and he loved those dolls since he was a kid, and kind of his little backstory is that he got made fun of from a girl for being so obsessed with the dolls, because that's
boys
weird.
aren't allowed to play with dolls.
Obviously. And then he meets a popular girl, a very outgoing,
Extroverted,
super hot and popular girl. Like, everybody makes it very clear that she is gorgeous and that she's just so cool. She's very outgoing. He meets her, and kind of right away, she is just out there. Like, they both and, like, two other guys are in charge of cleaning the classroom. And the other guys are like, hey, you're okay with doing it, right, Gojo? And he's just like, oh, I guess. And she had also left, but she comes back, and she's like, where'd the other guys go? And he's like, oh, I don't know. And she's like, did you let them leave? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, you can't let them walk all over you like that. And he's like, well, you don't have to stay and, like, help. And she's like, no, I'm obviously going to help you. And she is just so cool. She is, like, the coolest character ever. I'm obsessed with her.
Yeah.
I love her.
Both of these characters are super endearing in different ways. It is the, like, extroverted girl, introverted boy trope.
Obsessed.
It's so cute.
Obsessed.
It's so cute.
And they end up becoming friends, getting more of like a relationship because his sewing machine breaks at work or at like his housework, And so he has to stay in the sewing room at school to finish some of the clothes for the dolls. And she runs into him in there, finds out he can sew, and shows him her very mediocre cosplay she has been working on.
That was so me. My very first cosplay that I hand stitched because I didn't have a sewing machine. And it just like it was rough, and anyone who sews,
well, and like to see this like super hot girl and it just was like not draping on her well, it was just like not good at all.
And he had a lot to say about it.
Yep.
And then
something I love about him is he gets technical.
Yes.
He will get distracted in being technical, and I love it so much.
He's passionate about the craft.
Yep.
He does it for the love of the game.
Exactly.
And so he agrees to, well, she begs him, but he agrees to sew for her cosplay of her favorite character.
Can't remember her name, but it's from a video game where there's like sexual humiliation.
Yes.
It's very interesting, like X-rated game.
Yes.
And that kind of brings us into our like disclaimer, kind of like the discussion we can't ignore.
So I do want to say, you were like, yes, there's fan service, but it's not male gazy. And I watched it, and it is definitely male gazy. 100%.
Okay, here's what I will say. I told you yesterday, I soft launched this to you.
Yes. Okay, I'm ready to hear.
I figured it out while I was watching. So yes, there is still that like male gaze element to it, but I think what makes it different for me is, and it's kind of the same for Dan to Dan that I feel, is that the focus is more on the girl's sexuality and the girl being the one that is like the sexual one and the one with the power. And the men in these like relationships with them are always not pressuring them. They are always the ones that are like that step away, being like, I'm a gentleman. I need to not look. I need to not think like this. And I think that focus on, because there is obviously still, I don't know if, I'm assuming a guy wrote My Dress Up Darling, but it could have been a woman for all we know. But so it's like, yes, there is still that inherent like a man is writing the super sexual woman aspect to it, but I personally appreciate it because I grew up with that like purity culture shame element, and I really like to see that aspect of a girl who is very like confident in herself sexually, and the guy that has, I don't even know if I want to say shame, but has that little bit more of like
modesty in
that.
Okay.
And it's the guy that like has the onus on him to be the one that's like being appropriate. And like that is super apparent in this one. Gojo at every turn is like, I should not be thinking about her like this. I should not be feeling like this. I should not be looking at her. He's telling her like, hey, if you could, like, it makes me really like feel uncomfortable when like there's really showy cosplays. Like, I don't want to like think about you like that. Like, I don't want to put you in that position. And so I feel like that's what makes it different for me. And that's why I see it different than typical fan service, where I see fan service as like the male characters are looking at the women like that. And because Gojo in this is so not thinking about her like that, I see it differently. Okay.
I can understand that. And I kind of did say in my very detailed notes here, okay, like, yes, the thing about the fan service, it is definitely male gaze, but kind of like what you were saying, it is not actually coming from Gojo's point of view. Gojo is not ogling her or anything. He's actively looking away. The fan service is there strictly for the viewer.
Yes.
It is not coming from Gojo. It is there literally to service the fans. Okay? So I can kind of appreciate that. It's not Gojo sexualizing her. It is the animator sexualizing her and everyone even when they're in like not cosplay situations, like the animating, like the angles, like the shots, they'll just be standing, but like it'll be from a low angle so you can see up their skirts and blah blah blah, like very typical stuff. And since you are someone who hasn't watched a ton of romance anime of either the shonen, shoujo, or josei variety, like your scope is pretty limited, I can see why you would like appreciate she's the one in power, she's the sexual one, and he's like more of the pure soul. But for me, that is a very common thing, and the thing is, it puts the it puts that on the girl, and it makes the guy innocent, and it kind of does this like it's kind of like a Madonna whore type complex. And because I've seen that so much, I'm like, it's not that that revolutionary for me. Like, it's still very male gazy fan service, and I think it actually makes it different from Dan to Dan, because so in Dan to Dan, yes, there are moments of like sexual content, right? But in Dan to Dan, it is either in a case, it is never in a way to turn on the audience. Yeah. It is always set up in a way where it's either A, something sexual is happening between these freaked out teenage characters who are attracted to each other. Or it is B, in like a, like, this is the theme of the show. This is what the show is about, and we're like playing with it in kind of like a joking way, like manner. It is never like for, in my opinion, the listener might disagree, but in my opinion, the fan service in Dan to Dan is for those two reasons, not to turn on the viewer, not to like service the fans. The fans. But in My Dress Up Darling, it's completely different. It is not this like, it is not him like sexualizing her. He is very actively choosing not to sexualize her. It is strictly for the viewer, and that is where I don't like it. I'm not saying I don't like My Dress Up Darling. Oh yeah, to disclaim, I loved the show. Yay! I binged it. I loved the show. However, I am the too woke friend, and I can't like...
You're thinking about the ethics of it all.
I always am thinking about that, and like I've seen a lot of anime, and I can't just like watch something like this and not make these like observations.
Yeah. But like, okay, here's what I'll say. Can we not have some fan service? Like, aren't some shows like there's all different types of fan service, whether it is the more traditional like sexual like viewing fan service, or just like, you know, giving a certain couple like stuff, you know? And it's like, if we enjoy watching that, like, is there something inherently wrong with it?
And the answer is no. And I am comfortable saying that. The answer is no. Like, I am totally fine with being freaked out on main here.
That's the thing.
Like, that's not the problem for me. I will say I can understand the criticism of it is fan service for the audience and they are characters in high school. But if you are a character in high school or college watching this, that's not really going to be an issue. Yeah. It's because I'm an adult watching this, and I'm like aware that there are a lot of like adult males watching this, that I'm like super aware of that. Yeah. So that's where I like have some like moral ambiguity with it. But me, as a adult woman who has seen a lot of anime, I don't have a problem with like something being made to be sexy. I don't have an issue with that. And I loved this show. But, okay, and this is my big thing, and then we can move on to like what we love about the show, okay? Here's my big issue. I loved the show. I love being freaked out on main. Okay, I love Dan to Dan, and I love romance anime. My problem is the only romance anime that get a second season, that get this much not even attention, but like that get this type of funding, this is a romance shonen. Yeah. This is for the male gaze, and that's why it gets a second season. We have so much peak romance anime that is not a shonen, not for the male gaze, that will never get a second season, specifically because it is not overly sexualizing the girl characters. It is not for the male gaze, and therefore it does not get more episodes. And I was really upset about this because obviously I love romance anime. It's my favorite genre of anime, both shonen and shoujo and josei. I love all of that so much. But it's really frustrating that like a perfect story, like A Sign of Affection, which the manga is still ongoing, only gets those 12 episodes. And whereas like Rent a Girlfriend, My Dress Up Darling, A Couple of Cuckoos, like, and like literally any isekai harem anime will get season after season after season because it's for boys. And so even though I loved the show, I'm just like so aware of that, and it's frustrating, but I came up with a solution.
Okay.
And I did a little research.
Okay.
I wanted to know what percentage of actual Crunchyroll accounts belong to those who identify as male and those who identify as female.
Okay.
So I researched it, and I hate to say it, the ratio is 65% male and 35% female.
That's actually closer than I would have expected.
And then like a 1% like non-binary. Yeah. That's like self-reported. Okay? The thing is, I do not believe that the proportions of viewers is actually that stark. I think it's actually a lot closer. The thing is...
You think it's girlfriends.
The thing is, most of us girlies who love anime and are watching anime, we're watching it on our boyfriends or our partners' accounts. And I am guilty of that.
I'm guilty of that.
This is my brother-in-law's account.
This is the one I watch is my boyfriend's account.
Exactly. So... the thing is, they're seeing that the people who give them money actively every month are boys.
Okay.
And so it is what they watch that gets funded and gets more seasons.
Okay.
So
every girl watching this right now.
No, so the solution, I know it sounds crazy and it's really inconvenient, but this is like, if anyone feels as passionate about this issue as me, which is why I wanted to start a fucking Anime for Girls podcast in the first place.
Yeah.
Need I remind you?
Yes.
Need I remind you every fucking day when we like do our little intro? I clearly care a lot about this. So if you do like me, then the solution, I hate to say it, is we have to make our own accounts.
Or like, can you just go into the settings and change the gender?
Or can you do that actually?
Like,
no, girl, I like the way you think. I'm here thinking honestly and being like, we gotta be the ones.
Like, we have to pay double.
But no, you're right. We gotta change that.
Can we change that? I feel like we probably could.
Can
right?
we change that? Okay, so
or even just make a new account and like cancel your subscription on that one and add the subscription to the new one.
Exactly. Add the subscription to the new one. It like. Even more feminist move, have your brother or partner pay for your anime account.
Exactly.
Your Crunchyroll account. So that's
your soapbox.
That's my soapbox. That is my action step.
You know what I will say?
Yes.
I hadn't thought about that, so I really appreciate that. And what that made me think of actually is what I would love from anime in general, and like the anime I've been watching, is can we get an in-between? Can we, like, get I say normal because it's what I'm used to in my, like, Western media that I grew up watching. But can we get a balance between that sexual fan service, the fun stuff that gives you the tingles and you're excited, and nothing? Because I compare My Dress Up Darling to My Love Story with Yamada, and I would love an in-between.
Yeah.
I would love an in-between where they're, like, they have a little bit of a sexual tension, they kiss, maybe they sleep together.
Girl,
like, that's
you gotta
great.
read manga. You gotta get in this manga game.
I know what you mean, I know.
Though.
But that's the thing, is I'm like, I feel like that's the solution, too, is, like, if we just got an in-between where it's, like, the guys got some of their fan service, the girls got their romance, all of us are happy.
Isekai. You want to be watching, like, villainous isekai.
Okay.
That's a pretty good in-between.
But I want the...
No, I know.
I
know
want
what you mean.
the slice of life contemporary.
No, I get it. I understand. And to go back to Gojo choosing not to sexualize her, to talk about things we loved about the show.
He is such a freaking cutie patootie sweetheart.
I made a list, and this is advice for any guys watching.
Okay.
Or, here's what it takes to make a guy hot.
Okay.
Okay? This is very important. Stay tuned for next week's episode.
Yeah. If you're a guy listening to this, we have more to say to you next week.
Yeah. So, here are things that make a guy hot, even if they're not, like, visually super hot or popular. Because she has this thought in her head. She's like, how can I be into him? He's like the super, like, nerdy, quirky guy.
Mm-hmm.
Here are things that make a guy hot. Number 1, have hobbies.
So, hobbies is literally crucial.
Be fucking passionate about something that is not
Any
just, like,
hobbies.
sitting. Okay? Like, have a hobby. Gojo is crafty.
He's so crafty.
2, showing a genuine interest in my hobbies.
Yep.
In your partner's hobbies. He gets so into making cosplay for her that he plays the games that she loves. He watches the shows that she loves. And he, like, gets really into, like, taking different pictures of her.
Mm-hmm.
And he, like, starts directing her.
He
so
does
she
all this
poses
research
better.
on his own.
Yes.
He suggests, she's like, let's get this fabric. He's like, no, that fabric won't drape well.
And she doesn't ask him to do any of that. It's because he has a genuine interest in, like, art and, like, the craft of what he's doing in general, but also in, like, making in, like, her hobbies and what she enjoys.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? 3, not sexualizing you without your explicit consent. Because she tries to hint to him so many times. She's like, LOL, I'm just kidding. She's not kidding.
She's not kidding.
I'm
obsessed with her for that, by the way.
She's trying so hard to come on to him, but because she doesn't very explicitly say, I would love to fuck you right now.
Yep.
He won't even look at her in that way.
And whenever she is, like, trying to hint at him, he's like, why are you saying stuff like that? Why would you say that?
Why are you giving me $1?
Like, no, what part was that?
No, that's from fucking Jimmy Neutron.
Oh.
That's an audio that's trending on TikTok right now.
I haven't seen that one.
Why'd you give me... You gave me $1. Keep it. Why? I think you know why. I don't.
That's literally him in every... That's him every episode.
It is. It literally is.
We should use that audio.
We will. Rest assured we will. Okay. And then, very last, this is very important. And it's like a sign of responsibility. It's a sign of growth. It's a sign of maturity. And it's just like a fucking important life skill to have. A guy who knows how to cook.
Yep.
So...
A guy who will take care of you. He is such a guy that will take care of you.
He is, and I love that.
I also love that.
So, that's how it works. That's how you get the girl. And then you say, I want you for worse or for better. We haven't gotten there yet.
Kisses in frames, or pictures in frames of kisses on cheeks.
Period. Clock it. So yeah, those are things that make a guy hot, and she is grappling with this feeling because at first it's just like a friendship, partnership, and she's like, I don't understand like why he doesn't think I want to actually be friends with him.
Mm-hmm.
And then like she sees him like talking to his grandpa, and like how like into his craft he gets, and then they go to take pictures together at a convention, and he like falls asleep and calls her beautiful.
After telling her that he never uses that. Unless he really means it.
Because he doesn't, beauty is like such a precious thing to him, which is why he's like so into these dolls.
Mm-hmm.
That he doesn't use that word unless he means it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then her heart starts beating. And she's like, wait a second, am I falling for him?
And I love a girl that immediately is like, I'm in love with like,
in her defense, because Malachi pointed that out, he was like, that was kind of a fast switch. And I was like, no. They've been spending time together for weeks.
Yeah, but I just love a jump to love.
Yeah.
Like, not even, I think I like him. Just, I'm in love with Gojo. Like, just immediately.
Yeah, she becomes like his, and she keeps like setting up situations for them to hang out. They'd go shopping together.
Oh my god, so freaking cute. And he is always like, I'm sorry I didn't buy more of it myself. I'm like, why would you be paying for her cosplay?
He's so sweet.
He's like, I'm so sorry you had to pay for that. I'm like, it's
You're
her
doing
cosplay.
Her a service.
She should
You're
be paying
doing
you.
the labor. No, exactly. When the other girl comes in.
I loved that.
The other girl comes in and I'm like, are you gonna pay him or are you just gonna blackmail him? Oh, that was the part that I hated the most though. When he walks in on her in the bath and then she falls and they just like
that
make a
part
big
was
show of
super
it.
weird.
It was
and then they like
hard
make
to
it
watch.
like better because she actually is in high school. She's not young.
But it's not. But the thing
But it's
is,
like,
it's not
okay, I
better.
get what you're doing here. Like, this is not.
There was no reason for them to be like, oh, this is a kid, and like draw her like with such a like a young looking body.
Yeah.
Like that was fucking creepy, and I know what you fucking animators are doing. Okay, that was easily the hardest part for me.
Well,
to
and
watch.
then her younger sister that is in middle school is like super developed.
I know,
and it's like okay,
guys,
we
come
don't need this. Like, you don't have to do that. I feel like the fan service of like the main popular hot girl, that makes sense. Like,
it makes sense because like that's part of her character, and also she's like so unaware of like her own sexuality.
But she also is so aware of it, and she's like fine with it.
But that's the thing, she's so comfortable with herself and her body that if he like gets embarrassed and stuff, there's one point where she answers the door in like her underwear, and she's like trying on contacts, and he's like, hello, and she looks in the mirror and she's like, oh my god, I'm so embarrassed, I have contacts in still.
Yeah.
And she's like, later she's like, oh, I forgot to put on a shirt. Oh well. She's just so comfortable with her body. So like, yes, that makes sense. And also like they're the main couple, sure.
Exactly.
But when you start throwing in these like weird like ages and like dynamics,
and it's like they're trying to make it like a harem vibe of like throwing in multiple girls for him. I'm like,
so
no, let's keep the romance going. We love the romance, and we're okay with the sexual stuff within the romance.
And the only thing, and like the only reason they're doing that is to show that he is desirable. But we as the audience already know that he's desirable because he's so likable. So it's really unnecessary. I think they can just be like a group of friends that cosplay together. Like they don't all need to have romantic feelings for the main character.
Yeah.
But again, that's the type of show that gets the attention and funding.
We did we both were talking about like we just recently watched the last few episodes like last night, both of us, and I have to say they were just like so good.
They were
like
so good.
The Love Hotel scene where they actually have
crazy.
like a steamy scene was just so good. Of course they're interrupted. Crazy. And that's what's funny is that I feel like it's literally they're still doing the thing that the other romance anime does where they like tease us and they don't actually give us anything, but they're just doing a bunch of sexual stuff leading up to it and they don't actually give us the payoff of a real romance.
Yeah.
So annoying.
So they go to this love hotel to take pictures because she's like dressed as like a succubus. And he's freaking out because it's a love hotel, but then he gets like really into the photography and stuff. And then he's like, wait, let's take this picture where like it's from like his perspective and like you're singing to him and it's like you're on top of him. And then they get in this like crazy situation where like the lights turn off and they hear people moaning in the next room, and then they start breathing heavily, and then he like gets hard and they almost kiss and they're so close, and then the phone rings and it's like, oh my god.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
but
then
it was really fun to watch.
It was so good. And it was so
good.
real. It was like a real thing between them. And then we get like the whole scene of them at the festival with the fireworks, and
he's carrying her
and her being like, well, you know, next year we'll do this, and just that like,
and remember,
I think we all know how that feels.
Yeah,
like we all can look back on a time that we felt that.
And he didn't have friends. That's the thing, is like he doesn't want to sexualize her because this is the first real friend he's ever had. He respects her as a friend.
Yeah. And
then he realizes, oh, she's beautiful and I have feelings. I'm having impure thoughts.
Boy, it's okay. You can have impure thoughts as a treat.
He doesn't know that as a treat. You can have some impure thoughts as a treat.
Yeah, I love this show. I highly recommend it. I think, like, I understand if fan service isn't your thing, but I would urge you to at least give it a shot, because I do feel like it's not fan service that's like gross for the girlies. Like some fan service you watch, yeah, obviously other than like the part we were just talking about with the other two girls, but most fan service I feel like it's just like, okay, that's icky feeling, and it's not giving anything to the girls. It's like the whole porn trope of like how male focused porn is, but I feel like this one is still fun for the girlies to watch.
Their attraction and like enjoyment of each other's company is so genuine that like I can look past a lot of the fan service moments.
Yes.
And I still loved it and I really enjoyed it. And it's definitely inspirational if you're someone who likes to cosplay.
Yes, I love that part.
We got so much inspiration because we just went to FanX while we were watching this.
And Taylor told me, my boyfriend, he was like, I'm your dress-up darling, you're my Gojo.
And that was so cute.
I was like, that's so true.
So yeah, if you like romance anime, give it a shot.
Oh, and when they were doing the underboob cosplay, and she was like, I'll just write it home. I could send you a picture if you want. I guessed that she was going to say that, and then I loved that she said it, and then he freaked out, and so cute. I love it.
And she's like, I was just kidding. No, girl. No, you weren't kidding.
I know. So, and now we have to leave you guys because it's
showgirl time.
It's showgirl time.
It's showtime, ladies and gentlemen. We will see you on the other side. Make sure you follow us on social media at Anime for Blondes Pod on TikTok and Instagram. Next week, we are covering Death Note.
And make sure that you're subscribed so you get the notification when that episode comes out on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And make sure you like, comment, let us know if you're going to watch My Dress Up Darling and how you feel about this whole discussion.
Yeah, please. And we will see you in the next era, guys.
See you in the next era.
Bye.
Anime for Blondes.